Hey everyone, Suzi here, and today we're playing Godforge. For today's video, I'm gonna go over some mistakes that players can make, and there's lots of little things you probably didn't notice. Alright, first up on my mistakes to avoid is when you get these level 5, 10, 15, 20 multiple of 5 chests, you probably should just pick the Aether Stones every time. Even if you're trying to min-max and get resources, this is always a guarantee for Aether Stones. So at the end of the day, it might not be the most efficient choice if you've already got a really good roster to worry about summoning, but these are always guaranteed to be a drop here, and you're not guaranteed to get Aether Stones as one of the offers in the other rounds, so take the free summons while you can. Next up is very suited for the current calendar. So we just got this batch of God Steel for a 500 to do 50 pulls of weapons in the smithy. But you should not do those unless you're mindful of your missions. Now, this is maybe a mission that would be nice to be retroactive because it is expensive and hard to get 5 epic weapons by this point in the game, honestly. I don't know if I have 5. Maybe I do. I was bad and I did a whole bunch early on from stuff I got from the bazaar. But you should definitely hold on because chapter 1 part 3 is not that far into it, right? This is not that far into everything. You have to get 5 epic weapons from the smithy, so you don't want to blow all of your stuff the second you get it. Oops, wrong thing. Let's go here. You don't want to blow all the stuff in the forge immediately, which I definitely did. So, and what I did was do it in the form of the bazaar. So, the bazaar, I highly suggest you buy these forge kits if you're good on your gold and you actually, that's pretty helpful, actually. But I got lucky and I got a whole bunch of the God Steel to actually get some weapons. Now, okay, this is debatable if you choose to buy it, but what I should say is the mistake is if you choose to buy this, make sure that you've already done that mission. There's not another one coming up similar. Just don't make the mistake of getting excited and getting a bunch of forging materials and forging them immediately, only to find that you get the progress mission and you're roadblocked here for days, because grinding out the materials in normal parts like Hex Hollow is very slow and expensive with your stamina. So you want to get this when you get the free batches from rewards in game. I think it's intended to do that. It's intended to pair together with the daily calendar of this. But that means you have to wait until day 3, possibly, if you don't get lucky in the bazaar. It's just something to keep in mind. But also keep in mind progress missions. People are frustrated because some things are not retroactive. Oh, if you do this and then if you do this but don't accept it. This is a tip too. As soon as you forge these epic weapons, don't go refine them. Come back here, claim your reward, then go refine them. Because most of these things are not retroactive. I have already refined an epic weapon to level 10. It's not counted. That means it's not going to count if I do it immediately here either. So you could forge 5 weapons, level them up because they're great, or crunch them, or whatever you want to do with them, and then you come back here and you're like, oh shit, I just literally did that. I can't do it again. You need to be mindful of this, because while some of it is frustrating and I understand that, some of it is also intentional. They want you to go farm something. Cool, I learned how to farm for this resource. Okay, you did it? Now go do it again. This is how the gameplay loop is going to work in some cases, but certainly give your feedback if certain points are extra frustrating, but also understand that progress missions for this sort of thing is not meant to do in a day. It's not meant to insta-complete as fast as you possibly can. These are meant to be long-term goals as you progress through the game naturally. So don't overly stress them, but be mindful of what's coming, especially when you have something specific here. Like, I'm trying to think if there's any other good examples. Maybe here early on. Where is it? Or part 2. Part 2 is my worst one. Exchange pages of knowledge for a scroll of knowledge. So you're going to go to the rare heroes. You're going to be like, oh, cool, I want my Ramses to have some skill ups. You exchange those scrolls. You immediately put those scrolls on Ramses. Then you come back here and claim the reward. The next thing is upgrade a rare hero's ability. You're going to say, but I just did that. Well, go do it again. And that's okay too, to some extent, I think. A little bit, this one I wish counted immediately because it's after. If it was later on, I would say it makes sense, but the idea of you farmed, you have this resource, use it. Now learn how to farm for it and get more is also part of the process here. So I hope that makes sense and clears a little bit of frustration. If you think about it from the dev perspective or design perspective, that some of this is intended by design to stop people from just insta-completing every progress mission because you blasted everything with high-level heroes and you're suddenly bored and you're not even clicking and knowing what you're doing. Because if you're not stalled and you're just click claim, you're not even reading it. You're not learning how to farm or why something worked the way it did. So this is just a big PSA with one of the biggest mistakes to avoid. Not being mindful of your progress missions is part of that. And that's every game I've played that has progress missions. I love progress missions. I think they're great. They push people in a direction, but it's not the end of the world if you get roadblocked. Who cares? You do it tomorrow. It's not the end of the world. I know people like to min-max, but these are meant to be long-term goals. And right now we're in beta. Think about this. It's going to be very different once the actual game is out and there's different resources flowing. There are events or they're not. Or, you know, we don't have the certain calendar, but maybe you purchased other calendars and you have different resources. Like everything's going to feel different. So that's going to affect the flow of this as well. One quick don't do this that's actually really important, especially if you're a Raid Shadow Legends player, is, or probably Summoner's War as well, I would guess, maybe even Infinite Magic Raid. No, they had potions. Don't farm for your commons, uncommons, rares that you're not going to use. There's literally no reason to. For one, like a strategy like this was just like someone leveling up their characters and collecting tokens while wasting stamina. Or just, you know, all right, no, you technically, if it's the stage you can't beat, you don't waste stamina. So it's like, I guess, a little bit of a hack there. But no, you're just wasting time is all you're doing. This is not Raid Shadow Legends, guys. Don't farm your heroes. Just do the battles as fast as you can with the best heroes you can and get stamina instead. Then use that stamina to level up your heroes. Yes, it's great. Turn your commons, turn your 2-stars and your unwanted rares into dismantle them, or what are they called? Unbind. So like here, you're going to go through. I mean, I'm going to use a lot of my commons, as some chickens, but we don't need that many. So I'm just going to get rid of a bunch to have some 1-star fodder. Then we're going to get rid of all of the extra uncommons as well, right? You only need 1. You can't use them as dupes in any way, so who cares? And let's say you've already A5'd someone that... Alright, let's say... Who am I not going to use anytime soon, probably? I guess... I don't know, I might want to use that guy, actually, but I'd say I've already A5'd him. I've got all the awakenings I need. I decided I don't want to use his duplicates as imprints, so then you just turn them into spirits. And then instead of leveling up people, wasting time, you just do this. Like, okay, now he's a 3-star fodder. Now he's a 4-star fodder. You know, like, make your 3-star fodders instantly. Don't waste time in the campaign. That's the fun part. Actually progress your account or farm for much more needed things with your best heroes built out to make the run as fast as possible, the best as possible. And just make your chickens manually, because we have overflow XP potions in Godforge. You don't have to farm the actual hero themselves. And that saves a ton of time and effort and wasted resources farming areas of the game, just trying to solo with one hero plus fodder and all that crap. No, we're not doing that here. We're not doing that here. Be easy on yourself and just use the stamina, or sorry, the XP potions. Also, one of the mistakes early on, I think, is people undervaluing gold. Gold, like I mentioned with other contexts like the bazaar and how fun it can be, it's a very valuable resource. I highly recommend when we first start the game, which is probably too late for most of you, but you get a bunch of rubies from those dailies and from starting to push your campaign. Buy the 30-pack of summons, start summoning, why not? That's fine. But then buy the 6 million golds, because the 6 million gold is going to help you to get some of those fun freebies from the bazaar. But also, it's extremely expensive to skill up a hero, even a rare hero. And that does feel bad, but that's because we're in an isolated bubble. The reality of converting pages to skills and getting a ton of scrolls to be able to fully max an ability, to be able to max an ability, that's not normal in the game. We don't just throw 1,000 pages of knowledge at people normally, but this is for the sake of beta, so people can experiment, play, and, you know, have fun in this short-term run. So it feels more expensive early on because you're also not getting, or you're just instantly maxing someone's skills that cost a lot all at once versus slowly getting a couple here and there, a couple here and there, a couple here and there, where you wouldn't feel that hit as hard. So be very careful of your gold. Try to purchase the gold with rubies if you can. And if you need to farm gold, you can do so in campaign the best. Oof. But definitely have fun with these boxes of mysteries and terrible RNG that I'm getting right now. And this makes gold way more fun in this game compared to other games because there is this great RNG aspect. There is this aspect of maybe I get a game-changing piece of gear, or maybe not. But either way, it's really fun to gamble with them and to see what happens with these mystery crates. Pretty cool possibilities here as well. Another mistake to avoid is your imprints and dealing with those involving upgrading your weapons. So let's say here that I am using a Shipe Totek and I have this weapon with Brynhild. Okay, cool. Maybe I want to switch to a different weapon, or maybe I really like this weapon, but I want to change the imprint. So right now we have this one, right? But let's say I wanted a different one. You can imprint right over the top of it. All right, we're just going to crunch some things for hashtag for science. So let's say you put on this, I don't know, this one. Okay, it's on this weapon, but you change your mind and you want to put on a different one. It does warn you, applying this will replace the other one. This cannot be undone. But I think that's clear enough personally. Like, once you replace it, you replaced it. So what happens to that other one? Nothing's like, there's no inclination that you would get it back. It's replaced. So that's now replaced. Whatever happened to the one from Vidar? Where is it? What happened? It's gone. So a mistake, besides, I guess, just reading too much into the warning there or not reading into it enough, is just willy-nilly like trying to move around imprints. You can't swap around imprints from one weapon to another. Once you replace them, it is replaced. They are destroyed. So that is a huge thing to be careful of. And I know it's a little bit of a pain point, but I understand the logic of it. They do make imprints pretty easy to obtain. There's a lot as rewards in the campaign, and there's a lot of ways to get imprints for very low I guess spending, so to speak. Like right now we have the little imprint thing that's only 500, and you're guaranteed to get a legendary one. I could get a Sun Wukong one right now. You know what? Let's do it. Tianlong, that's a great one. Oh my gosh. So that's a really good imprint as well. But yeah, this is so cheap and so easy. So if they continue to do this come future, even if it might get more expensive then, because right now we want people to play and test, so it's extra cheap. I think this is too cheap for getting the guarantee you're getting. But imprints, making them more readily available is better than feeling the need to swap around, because if you could just swap imprints and not destroy them, people would be wasting so much time min-maxing every build, moving their best Sun Wukong imprint or whatever imprint around from character to character to character to weapon to weapon to weapon, I should say, then to character to character to character for every single battle, depending on who you needed. And that just creates this annoying time sink and stress of, I can move my gear and everything for free, so I'm gonna waste time doing that before every single battle. So why don't you have presets for me to do this instantly? Things that people expect later in life for games, not in the beginning stages, which you're definitely not at. So I actually think that while it's frustrating, it totally makes sense. So sorry I took a lot of extra time on that one. And this is supposed to be a short mistakes to avoid, but I really like to provide context for things when I can. And that's my very strong opinion after thinking about it more and more and more, that those imprints, you shouldn't just put them on any willy-nilly weapon unless it really does have the perfect stats, at least when it comes to like a legendary imprint. But you wouldn't just put it on any old weapon. You got to be careful of the substats. Just because the weapon is good and legendary, like mine sucks. My Forge Fire is flat defense and resistance. I don't want this, so I'm not gonna use it. I'm not gonna upgrade it, even though it was my free weapon from the minigame. It sucks, but that's okay because we need other weapons to upgrade to another version, right? So here, attack with faith. Perfect. Let's forward. Oh, let's refine. So we're gonna, oh, no, whoa, come here. The next thing you need to do to get it to another level is crunch another version. So this Forge Fire that has terrible stats is not lost. And that is a mistake to avoid right now that I need to say. Just because you have your fancy version of your weapon that feels special just because it's legendary from the minigame, or you got lucky and you pulled one, or one dropped from Hag's Hollow, it does not mean you have to level it up. Don't level it up unless it has good stats. At least don't take it past like level 10. Don't start crunching things. Don't start whatever. Like, be mindful that that's the whole point of the system. You need a duplicate to make one better. So crunch the ones that don't have good main stats or substats into the ones that do, and then you're good to go. And they have their purpose. So while it kind of is a bummer that this doesn't ideally go on whatever person that I might want it on, like if this had super crazy attack stats that it could go on my squishiest person to protect them, that would be great. But it doesn't. Oh well, it'll become fodder in the future, right? Okay, so I hope this conversation was helpful, guys, for mistakes to avoid. There's lots of things to be careful with when it comes to a new game. No matter what the game is, there's always going to be little nuances that we don't notice. And I think just mostly being mindful of progression missions. But at the end of the day, if you miss it, you miss it. It's not the end of the world. You'll just do it later is all, but it can roadblock you for a couple of days. So especially in a shorter time period, that might feel a little more stressful than the game itself. And yeah, be mindful of the systems in place. Sometimes something might feel like a frustrating pain point, but there might be design intentions behind it. All right, guys, hope this conversation was helpful. Let me know if you guys have any questions in the comments below. And be sure to use my link for signing up if you've never signed up before on the website. Then you can go ahead and download the game as well. If you haven't downloaded and started playing beta yet, you can also download it. But be sure to sign up or else you won't be on the mailing list and you won't get future emails to play in the future and have access codes and all that fun stuff, possibly. So, And you might not be able to get your rewards if we have to send them via email. But that's a whole nother thing. But I hope you guys are having fun. It was a little bit of a frustrating start. There's a little bit of performance issues, but nothing unexpected, I think. And the gameplay's amazing once you've got it installed well. And you know, if you, as long as you restart it after those install issues, you should be fine. The gameplay is great. Everything looks fun, and I'm having a lot of fun myself. And I hope you are too. So I will see you in the next one. Let me know if you guys have any requests for videos you'd like me to make.